This is Priscilla with Cilla Travel, helping you live the dream through travel. And today we have Skylar Mason of SKYIN Travel, and he is a Kenya specialist, but not just any type of Kenya specialist, not your regular run-of-the-mill safari, luxury safari. This one is where you actually get in touch with, get to know the local people. And those of us who are of the African-American community, that's important to us. So this is an exciting opportunity. And yeah, he's white, but that's okay. He has spent a lot of time in Kenya and has fell in love with the people. Skylar, do you have anything to say?
I have a lot to say.
Okay.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate the opportunity for joining us on this Immerse into Kenya webinar, co-hosted by Priscilla and myself. Priscilla, we met probably about 4 months ago off of a virtual travel trade show. When I first met Priscilla, I actually walked her through a wonderful presentation, and immediately she got in touch with me, said, Skylar, what's the odds of being able to share this with some of my clients, some of my representatives, my friends, and because it's a compelling story. As she mentioned, yes, we offer excursions into Kenya, but we are your very unique, very different, very unique and special type of company. And it's all based off my childhood experiences, having grown up living amongst local tribes and communities in Kenya. And for me to really elaborate and express all the different elements, the different perspectives of what makes my company SKYIN so unique and so special, is to walk you guys through a virtual journey to really show you why SKYIN is the best way to be able to experience a culture, the country, the environment, the wildlife, but from the roots of it all. I would love to start off by saying that SKYIN, we are officed here in beautiful Denver, Colorado. We are also officed in Nairobi, Kenya. So certainly we are a dual entity company in both countries, and we've been in business for almost 5 years now. So that all being said, if you guys don't mind, sit back, relax. I do this webinar presentation. You're probably going to think I'm lying, but I do about 25 of these on a weekly basis because I'm so hands-on with the company, and I love to be able to share my story, express my passion, the genuinity behind the concept, the ethos, the morals behind SKYIN. And so what I like to say is, any of you guys that do have questions along the way, let's wait it till we get to the end. Certainly throughout the presentation, I tend to answer a lot of questions, but then we will open up to a Q&A at the end and help answer any further questions from there. So with that all being said, let me share you guys my screen.
I have one more thing, and I'm so used to doing these lives by myself, I forgot. Everyone just, type in the chat or just let us know where you're from. So you can get off mute really quick and let us know where you're from. I know Irvin was trying to say something earlier. Just let us know really briefly where you're from.
Houston, Texas.
All right.
All right.
Lexington, South Carolina.
Lexington, you said?
Lexington, South Carolina. Lexington. Represent for me, Lexington.
Ladson. Okay, that's not far. Okay. Deb, you were saying something?
South Carolina.
Winsburg or Winsboro?
Winsboro.
Okay.
Winsboro.
All right. Anybody else?
There's one from Orlando, Florida, I saw.
But Michelle, Orlando.
All right.
Yes, that's me, Orlando, Florida.
Awesome.
All right. Okay. And Caitlin is saying Somerville. That's where I am. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it over to Skylar. Now that we got the introductions out of the way, Skylar, take it away.
All right.
This is Skylar with SKYIN Travel.
Let me share my screen. And I welcome you all to the journey of SKYIN.
Jambo!
Welcome!
And Priscilla, you guys can hear the audio, the video, correct, right?
I can hear it.
All right, as I was mentioning, you guys, my company, SKYIN, is way more than just some ordinary business. It's based off my childhood experiences, having grown up living amongst local tribes and local communities in Kenya since I was a very young boy. Now you're probably gonna ask, how in the world did this kid even get to Kenya? What brought him in the first place? What started all this? Ever since I was 2 years old, and to this day, my parents have no idea because they've never been anywhere in Africa at all, even to this day. They said I was so captivated and fascinated in African culture. They said I used to dance and sing and drum and dress like I was part of this tribal village. They said every little boy's dream was to go to Disney World, go to Legoland, get toys for their birthday. Well, my dream was to go to Africa. And at the age of 14, I had some family friends who were from Kenya who invited me to come stay with them and their family for an entire summer. Now, as you can only imagine, at such a young age, going to a world so different than our own, staying with families, myself into the local communities, traveling with the local guidance and the local safety net by my side every step of the way, I was able to get an experience unlike any tourist could ever imagine. And the second I touched foot in Kenya, I fell in love and started going back ever since, building such extensive relationships throughout the local communities, the local villages, all throughout Kenya. Well, about 4.5 years ago, I was in Kenya for a good period of time, and my Kenyan mother, today she is a mother figure in my life. She was driving me to the airport so I can come back to the States, and something changed. I looked at her in the eyes and said, Mama Joy, I really know what I want to do now. I know what my calling is. My calling is to impact these communities like how they've impacted mine. I want to be able to change lives, better their circumstances, brighten their futures. And how do I do that? Is by creating jobs, creating opportunities, the opportunity to be able to bring in sustainable, well-paying jobs, sustainable income to these communities and bettering their circumstances. I got back to the States. I went through a whole 2-month depression. I mean, you ever go a part of your life where you know what you want to do, but have no idea what that's going to look like, what that's going to take? All I can think about, and I was determined to do, was create this opportunity back out in Kenya. And when I went through a whole brainstorm, do I build something? Do I manufacture something? Do I resource something? I had no idea what that was going to look like. And I was actually talking to one of my really, really close friends who I went to school with. So I went to college back in the day in San Diego, and her name's Carlene. And I was telling Carlene about this. I was telling her why I cared so much, why I was willing to drop everything I had going for myself to create this opportunity in this part of the world that is now my family, my communities. I'm a part of them, a part of these tribes. And just like any good friend, she was questioning me. She was challenging me. She was saying, Skylar, why? Why in the world would you want to do something like this? I mean, you live here in the US. You come from a successful family-owned business. Why? And I told her, I said, Carly, you know what I've seen, how I've been treated, what I've witnessed, what I've been able to experience of going out there since I was such a young boy and experiencing more as a local. And I remember to this day, she said, Skylar, don't you think there's other people who would absolutely love to have the enriching experience you had? Not like a tourist, but like one of them. And I said, absolutely. Every time I go out there, people are always ask me, how in the world do you get to do that, how you do it? And then just like you see in the cartoons where a light bulb goes on top of your head, flashing, saying ding, 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 brilliant idea. That to me was my calling. My calling was to duplicate the same immersive, authentic, exclusive, intimate experiences of exploring Kenya through the lens of a local, but do it in a way that's going to impact the local communities. Do it in a way that's going to create sustainable, well-paying jobs to better their lives and brighten their futures. As I mentioned, we have an office, a team, they're my family. They don't stand behind me, they stand beside me, because that's the genesis of what SKYIN's all about. And my entire team, representatives, supervisors, families, they are all locals. They will always 100% remain locals.
My name is Skylar Mason. Ever since I was a young boy, I have traveled to different parts of Africa, living amongst the locals. And what they have showed me is the true value of life. They have brought me into their lives as one of them. I truly believe that the best way to travel is to see it how a local would see it. I created SKYIN because I want to give the same experiences to travelers, adventurers who want to see a new perspective on life and be able to immerse themselves into this beautiful and captivating, fascinating culture through the lens of a local. This is not meant for everybody, but those people who are itching to explore beyond the beaten path of a typical tourist, then SKYIN is right for you. From the beautiful beaches of Mombasa, wildlife, its culture, to all the different tribal villages, your host family will be by your side to make sure your trip is one you will never forget. Kenya has changed my life, and I know it will change yours.
Now, throughout this entire presentation, I'm going to be highlighting multiple different elements of what makes us so unique and so different than any company out there. And one of the biggest elements is that we connect all our travelers directly with highly vetted local host families. And what's incredible about this experience is that you're not only going to be going down to Kenya and staying with a local family for part of your excursion, but as you travel throughout the country and all the immersive and exclusive experiences that we offer, your local host family travels by your side every step of the way. They're there for your local guidance, for your insights and tips. They're there for your personal resources, but most importantly, they're there for your safety and security, because we don't take all our travelers to all the places the tourists go to. We take you off the beaten path into very remote areas. And for the last 4.5 years, all our travelers say the same thing when they come back. They could never imagine seeing what they saw, doing what they did, or experiencing how they experienced Kenya without the local guidance of their local host family. Now, just so you guys all know, all our families are highly vetted. They go through high amounts of internal comprehensive training, and they're also background and screened through the government as well. Now, I would love to introduce you to some of our families.
Hello, Jambo.
We are
the Muragas. We are excited to host you and take you around Kenya in this SKYIN adventure.
Karibu Kenya.
Hakuna Matata.
Hi, we are the
Muhindi family.
and we're excited that you're coming to visit us here in Kenya, and we are thrilled to take you on this amazing SKYIN adventure. See you soon. Bye.
Hi, this is the Cilla family. We are glad to have you in our country for the SKYIN adventures. Hope you will enjoy learning our culture, eating Kenyan food, and touring our country. Bye.
But what's also amazing about this experience is that we don't only connect you to a local host family in Kenya, but we connect you to your local host family ahead of time through video chats. It allows you as a traveler and our host families to build a bond, build a relationship, build the trust and comfortability months before you even arrive in Kenya. It also allows our host families to best accommodate you before you even get to Kenya. So it allows them to know if you have any food allergies or sensitivities, if you have any disabilities, handicaps, restrictions. It allows our families, as I mentioned, to be able to know you far in advance so they can best suit you during your stay. We also take a lot of pride and joy to make sure we make the right suitable family or the right suitable group of travelers with the right suitable host family. So for instance, family travel is one of our biggest demographics. If you have your family with young children, we would have matched you with a family with young children the same ages, because what a learning experience that is for the children. Another big demographic is older, retired, adventurous couples. We maybe want to put you in a household that may not have stairs, that doesn't have children around. With every other tour operator, when you guys arrive in a destination, you walk outside those airport doors. You're either calling a taxi or you're looking for some random guy with some sign to take you to your hotel and lodge. With SKYIN, we're very different. We're about building deep connections and relationships. And our travelers always say when they walk outside those airport doors, and the first people to greet you with the biggest hugs, the biggest smiles, familiar faces, that's what it feels like coming home. That's what it feels like to belong. Now, another big thing that makes us so unique and so special. So if any of you guys have been on a safari or heard of going on a safari and type of experiences you go on, usually safaris offer, they call it a cultural visit. You're visiting usually a Maasai in Kenya, Maasai village. You're there for 1 hour, you pay as you get in, they dance, they sing, they walk you around their homes, their manyatas, and then you're out. It's a very commercialized type of village. It's more of a demonstration, it's more of an act. We here at SKYIN take you far off the beaten path into real live tribal communities where you spend the entire days immersed into these tribes, where you get to meet and engage with the chiefsmen of the tribes. You get to storytell with the elders inside their huts, learn the roles of the woman and the warriors from the roots of it all. This is to give our travelers such a deep exploration of their culture, traditions, and rituals, but from the roots of it all, in a way that's going to transform you, in a way that's going to allow you to really see what their life is all about from the roots. This also is an amazing opportunity to be able to support these communities, because like I said before, it creates sustainable, well-paying jobs for these communities to welcome their guests, to show them what they're all about. SKYIN's all about the give back. And what makes us stand out for me than many, many other tour operators out there is that the difference is these are my families. These are my communities. I've been a part of these tribes since I was very young, for over a decade now. When I say the chiefs of these tribes are a father figure to me, that's how they look at me, as one of their sons. So I have the opportunity to take my guests to places that no other company has the opportunity to. Now, we do take you during our excursions to 2 separate indigenous tribes. The one on the top is the well-known Maasai, and the one on the bottom is the Mijikenda. Now, another reason why people love traveling with us is how diverse our itineraries are. All our excursions offer such an authentic blend of both culture, wildlife, but also the coastal regions. Mombasa. Any of you guys knew this? Mombasa is on the coast of the Indian Ocean, known for its white sand, crystal blue water beaches. You're going to spend some beautiful time on these very exotic beaches. But we're also going to put you on multiple different excursions as well. So we're going to take you on an Old Town City tour to learn about the Swahili heritage and where it originates from. We're also going to take you to multiple different slave trade era monuments and museums to learn about the past ancient times of the slave trade era. We're also going to put you on a very authentic sailing excursion. As you can see in the image in the front, in the middle, on these ancient dhow boats where you're sailing the Indian Ocean like you've seen in the movies back in the 1500s. Your crew is going to be in the back singing and drumming at Coke cans while you're searching for dolphins and sea turtles, while you also get to snorkel the pristine waters of the Indian Ocean. Talk about the best, some of the best snorkeling I've ever had, with so many thousands of different color fish, coral reefs, etc. So when you go to Mombasa, it's one out of many destinations we'll be taking you to, but it's to give you a deep exploration of the culture, its history, as well as the local lifestyle. Now, SKYIN, this is not your average trip or vacation. Our tagline is travels that touch the soul. This is a transformative journey and a transformative experience. This is going to give you way more than just pictures and souvenirs. It's going to give you a brand new life perspective coming back. And that's what all our travelers always say, because we pinpoint all our experiences to be able to provide you a more meaningful, soul-grabbing, rejuvenating type of experience. And hands down, our travelers always love visiting the local orphanage I've been a part of since I was very young. This is an opportunity to be able to spend time, engage, meet, and hear some of the stories of these children. They put on fun little plays and acts. Everybody comes together and sings and dances. It is an exhilarating type of experience. But as I mentioned before, SKYIN's all about the give back. How do we support these local communities? Well, when it comes to the orphanage, part of your proceeds goes towards well-needed supplies that we actually give to you as you're visiting the orphanage. We give it to you to bring it into the orphanage during your visit. Because here at SKYIN, we're about the transparency of how your engagement gives back and make a difference in this part of the world. Now, another thing that we all know, Kenya is well known for its majestic wildlife. We absolutely want to make sure we incorporate that in all our excursions. So during your excursions, you'll be able to visit the renowned Giraffe Center, as well as the David Sheldrick Baby Elephant Orphanage. It's an opportunity to get hands-on with these beautiful, majestic animals, but also learn about their conservancy, as well as the rehabilitation and how they rehabilitate them to get them back to the wild as well. And then, of course, taking you on we like to call it a soul-fari. Being able to go to that part of the world and see all the majestic, exotic animals in their natural habitat is breathtaking. And we absolutely want to incorporate that to all our excursions. But if you guys go out there and start looking around for different type of African adventures, safaris, excursions, everybody sells the wildlife. Here at SKYIN, over 30% of my business are reoccurring travelers who have been to Kenya before. They always come back and travel with us because they said they went on some beautiful luxury safari and it was breathtaking. They would love to do it again. But they also went to a part of the world that is known for its culture, its traditions, its rituals, its stories, its children. And when you SKYIN, you're able to get best of both worlds in the big grand scheme of an excursion of both the cultural, immersive cultural experiences, while also immersing yourself into the wildlife as well. Now, we offer 2 different types of excursions, and Priscilla will certainly dive deeper into this when she speaks to you guys later as well, but we focus and offer custom tailor-made excursions where we work directly with Priscilla as well as her clients to be able to curate itineraries suited to them. So when you want to travel, how you want to travel, all privately traveled, pinpoint experience that you guys are most interested in. And then we also offer, this is more for solo travelers, small planned group excursions, where we have a set 10-day itinerary. That 10-day itinerary is actually our most popular, even on our custom trips. But we have set dates throughout the year, and travelers from around the world can join up on an excursion date and all run it together. You meet new people along the way. And what's cool is that we actually connect you to all the travelers ahead of time through video chats as well. Another thing that Priscilla and I are going to be doing as well is we're going to be putting together a co-hosted trip, a group trip. So that means that Priscilla as well as myself will be joining the group. We're going to be picking days. We're looking at the end of next year to potentially host our first group trip where you can join up, and obviously being able to run it with Priscilla as myself to tag along with you. There's nothing better than that. So certainly Priscilla will be able to provide you all more information in regards to that. Now, another benefit of why people love to travel with us is because we are a one-stop shop. We take care of everything for you. Because we have an office in Kenya, my team down there arranges everything for you. Plus, when you're down in Kenya, you are covered by my company, my team, everybody down there under our umbrella. So that means we have supervisors, staff members on foot, on site at all times. We take care of full room and board accommodations, all your meals. We hire private drivers and vehicles throughout your entire excursion. Your domestic airfare, your village experiences, your safaris, we take care of everything for you, because planning an African trip does get very, very complicated. The only thing we don't actually include into our pricing is our international airfare. A lot of travelers like to do that on their own because they get points, they're traveling, but I know Priscilla can certainly help you with that as well. Now let's get into accommodations, because this is certainly important. So another amazing element of what makes us so unique and different is that we offer an exclusive homestay for part of your excursion. Just like how our families, all our homestays are highly vetted. They all are on the outskirts of Nairobi, near major hospitals, police stations, clinics, the US Embassy, airports, etc. All our families live in beautiful suburban homes you'd find very similar here in the States. They have to have the amenities that you'd find, like I said, in the States. So running hot water showers, complete bathrooms with toilets, accessible Wi-Fi, electricity. All our families' homes have to reach a high standard criteria in order to host. In the homestay, it's only for part of the excursion. For example, that 10-day itinerary, only 5 nights is spent in a Nairobi homestay. And it's not 5 consecutive nights, it's all spread out throughout the itinerary. Doesn't mean you'll be in Nairobi for 5 days. It means that it's kind of a middle ground between one destination to the next. If you guys are someone that says, I love the immersive experiences, I love getting connected to these tribes and these local families and have the local guidance, local authentic meals, but I just don't feel comfortable in a homestay, then we can certainly opt you out of that homestay experience, of that portion of the trip, and we can opt you into nearby lodging or hotels nearby the homestays. For 4.5 years, I've only had 2 groups have done that, and they absolutely do regret it because they didn't realize how beautiful the homes are, how enriching an experience that is. But certainly we don't want to be a drawback if that is your biggest concern of a homestay. We can certainly opt you out of that portion into hotels or lodges. When you go to Mombasa, we already host you at beautiful beachfront resorts right on the water. All our hands down, our travelers love the resorts that we partner with. Out of that 10-day itinerary, 3 nights, for example, is spent at a beachfront resort. And then when you go on your safari, we host you at either safari lodges or safari camps right in the middle of the national parks. You hear the animals at night, all the stars, breathtaking. And that's 2 nights on that 10-day excursion. So it's 5 Nairobi homestay, 3 in the Mombasa beachfront resort, and 2 in the safari camps. That's just one itinerary. Do keep in mind that could be customizable, changing. That's just one example. I would love to offer you guys a testimonial video.
I met Sydney about 4 years ago, and since then we've been kind of talking about exploring the world together.
We chose SKYIN because of the ability to see so many different things.
They were able to immerse us into the actual culture, and the host families, they were there to really show us what it is to be a real local.
At the end of the trip, I considered them to be family. Going to the beach was definitely a highlight for me.
Watching wildlife, going to these indigenous tribes that not many tourists are able to go to, it was something that I will never forget.
What's really awesome about SKYIN is they care about being able to support the local community.
We were able to go to the orphanage. It really showed me that no matter where you are in the world, we're all in this together.
SKYIN touched our soul and made us see life so much differently, and that's the only way I will travel now.
Now, I'll be the first person to tell you, this is not suited for everybody. This is definitely your non-cookie cutter, off the beaten path type of experience. But as I mentioned before, if you're looking to go to a part of the world that most people don't ever get to touch in the most immersive, authentic, intimate way, but also in a way that also gives back to these communities, and you can see through the engagement. All our travelers are still in constant contact with their host families. They build these relationships with the people in Kenya. A lot of them do say, because we do get a lot of African-American descent, they said they feel like they're coming home and learning about where their heritage or their ancestors may have came from. But this is definitely your type of experience that's going to leave you with a new perspective on life. And I'm not just saying that because it's changed my life. That's what all our travelers say. They say they come back and they feel transformed. They feel like they appreciate life more. They accept things more. Because when you go to that part of the world and you see how happy people are, you see how people work together as a community, as a society, it gives you so much joy to be able to witness, especially the children. Nothing beats the children out there. I would like to wrap up this presentation to offer you guys one more video to walk you through step by step of what's incredible journey awaits.
It's time to experience Africa in a whole new way. Anyone can travel like a tourist, but with SKYIN, you become a local. SKYIN helps you experience travel in a unique, authentic way by not just seeing the culture, but living it. With SKYIN, we connect you to our local host families long before your trip even begins. After months of breaking the ice, meeting your family for the first time feels just like coming home. Gather around the family table and experience what true African home cooking is all about. Venture off throughout Nairobi and really see where the locals go. Step outside your comfort zone and immerse yourself in unique adventures you won't and can't have anywhere else. Don't just see a village, but live in one of ours for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Dip your feet into the beautiful sandy beaches of Mombasa. Get up close and personal with nature. Go on a safari and see animals in their own natural habitats. See firsthand the vibrancy of the Maasai and their unique way of life. Sleep under the stars while nature thrives all around you. Travel is best when you are doing it with family. SKYIN connects you with our open and loving families who will be there by your side to ensure your trip is one you won't forget. Once you are ready to live like a local, just SKYIN Kenya.
And that right there, guys, is what SKYIN is all about. I really appreciate the opportunity to present to you. There's a reason why Priscilla and I love to be able to host this webinar because we're here to educate people that there's a different way of being able to experience a part of the world and really be able to get connected in ways that you could never even imagine. And so I would love to be able to open this up to any questions, Priscilla, if there's anything you'd love to counter off that, and kind of go from there.
Definitely. Thank you, Skylar, for like such a eye-opening presentation. It's just a different way of traveling. And for those of us, I can speak for myself as well as my family, of being of African American descent, it's important for many of us to try to reconnect and get to know the people who actually live on the continent of Africa, because we just don't have that chain's been broken over hundreds of years. So it's like, you know, it's really interesting, you know, so you can see where some of the customs we may have now, where they may have come from. It's just really an eye-opening and really interesting way to travel. And yeah, it's not for everyone, but for those of you who it is for, I think that it'll be life-changing, especially for those of us who are trying to reconnect to Africa. Does anybody have any questions or any comments? Anything you want to ask Skylar? Any questions at all? Oh, Michelle, she's saying, what if they do want to explore the tourist attractions?
Absolutely. There are definitely, like I said, on custom excursions, we work directly with you. Priscilla, myself, we will, my team will work with you to figure out what you guys are absolutely looking for. So if there are certain things that you guys already do know about it, we do get people that are more, I had a group that went I've already had, just so you guys know, I've already had 4 groups this year in 2021 already go to Kenya. I've already been there twice. But we had one that was really into museums and artwork and stuff. And so we brought them to a lot of different museums from, from the US Embassy, where back in the day in the 1980s, it got bombed. And so they initially have a whole museum, beautiful museum there that people love to go to. They go to all these different great ruins that they'd be able to see. So absolutely, if there's certain places that you guys do research and you'd like to see certain attractions, we could fit everything's customizable. And don't get me wrong, when we take you to the Giraffe Center, the Baby Elephant Orphanage, that's a little more touristy, but it's something that we never want to leave out onto our type of excursions as well. So
yes. Go ahead, Skylar. Any more questions? I'm seeing, do I see any questions? Very good presentation and very informative. That's what Deborah is saying. Yeah, so some of us might be a little mobility challenged because of the years that we've been on the earth. So what options would you recommend?
So there are no high levels of activity. I've had people in their late 70s be able to go. You're not going to be necessarily, I mean, the part that's most probably active is when you go in the water and you snorkel, but you can certainly opt out of that portion of it. There are some walking, but it's definitely at your own pace. We want to make sure that it's suited for all types of ages and all like that. So, and do guys keep in mind, if you do research, Kenya is the #1 African destination to travel to now, for many, many reasons. One, they received a huge award called the Safer Tourism Seal. This is what the government's been doing to ensure tourism safety during this whole pandemic. They also were rated the #1 destination due to being able to, for the wildlife, the sightseeing, what's all going. And the government does a really, really good job. So anyone who does sell Africa tour operators that sell all of the whole continent, Kenya is everybody's #1 right now. So it is a very big major destination to go to. When it comes to the COVID, so South Africa, Tanzania, they've all been on level 4. Kenya's been bouncing from level 2 to level 3. It's never reached level 4 in regards to the COVID levels. I have been there twice already this year. We do take the highest amounts of sanitation, focusing on small group travel ourselves, and being able to make sure that it is a safe environment. And if anything does ever, in 4.5 years, I've never had anybody run sick on us, but if there's ever that occasion, we do have in-home doctors, nurses at every location you'll be at to be able to help us suit in any drastic need. I just like to throw that out there. You always are covered.
Okay, you did mention that the host families are in Nairobi. So Nairobi is the capital city, actually. Nairobi is a pretty big place. Are they in, they're in a suburb of Nairobi, right?
Yep, they're in a
Okay.
suburb. So they're not right in downtown, certainly in a suburb.
Right. So I do have a question. This just popped into my head. I did read that in Nairobi, there's a safari in the middle of the city.
Correct. It's not in the middle of the city. It's the Nairobi National Park. It's right on the outskirt of the city. So it is the only national park, or it's the only country with a national park within the city, if that makes sense. So yes,
Okay.
you're not going to be running through the town of downtown and see giraffes. You have to go into the national park. It is right on the outskirts of the city, but usually with other national parks, you have to drive very far distance to get to.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions or any comments about the presentation?
And feel free to speak up too. You don't have to just write it in.
So going forward, I'll be looking at some options. So I would really appreciate any ideas or any options that you would like if you're interested. What will the price range be? That's a good question. The price range. So 10 days is the optimal tour, the length of the tour. I mean, if you're going from the US to Kenya, although there are some shorter, but 10 is it's pretty much standard if you go into Kenya to have a tour. What are the price ranges?
Oh, yes, me, of course. I'm reading the comments. Yeah, so if you compare, so on a 10-day trip, averagely per person, we're looking at anywhere from about averagely around maybe 4,500 to 1,000 or to 5,000. This is all inclusive. Do keep that in mind. You compare that to a lot of other companies of what their price point is at with the safari included, with all accommodations. Michelle, it looks like you know how Africa travel is. It is absolutely affordable.
Yes.
If the more people you bring, it does get cheaper to a point. So if you go by yourself, you're obviously going to pay a higher price point. But if you go down to about 4 people, you're going to see a big significant difference in a price difference. So it also depends on the time of year as well. There's a high season, there's a middle season, there's also a low season. So it just depends what you're looking at, the length of trip, how many people you're going with. But for full 10 days, all inclusive, we are looking at probably per averagely around $4,500 per person.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. So yes, for like a safari, you can spend yes on a safari. Yeah.
And this includes a safari, safari in the Moss and Mar.
Yeah. So great. So remember now, it's a multi-stop trip. You're not going to just be in one place. You're also going to be spending time in a resort, a beach resort, as well as all of your excursions are covered. Meals too, right? Or up to 2 or 3 meals. How many meals a day?
Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Say again.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes. See, hey, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And yeah, and Erwin is saying, yes, it's great that we're using the locals. So yeah, it's important that we do use the locals. It's sustainable travel. That's the term. That's the thing, the name of it, sustainable travel. So I know we hear a lot of terms out there, but that's what that is. You're actually giving back to the country, the locals, and giving them the opportunity to participate in the travel trade. So yes, and yeah, Kenya did come in as the #1 tourist destination in Africa last year. So they won awards for in tourism last year in 2020, and that was during COVID.
They got awarded the award in 2020. It doesn't mean it's only for the year of 2020. It's for a span of years. So
okay.
Do keep that in mind, because people are like, well, there wasn't much travel in 2020. They got presented the award in 2020, and it's moving forward. That's why it's such a highest selling destination right now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's definitely worth visiting, and for those of us who are interested in our heritage, spending time with the locals is important. But then again, there are some of us who still, because we're Americans, we like our shopping and our, some touristy things. So just want to let you guys know that this is a highly customizable trip. I haven't put all the details together yet for the trip planned for, I'm looking at early December, November of next year to figure a time where most people get off. They get off around Thanksgiving or afterwards before the Christmas holiday, and plus the weather is nice in Kenya that time of year. It is that the low season,
That
Skylar?
is the low season. Yes, correct.
Yeah. So low season travel and low season prices are lower. So just think about it in the US when you travel to the beach in the middle of the summer. That's the high season. So that's where everything's expensive. But if you travel like during winter, then the prices are lower. However, Kenya is the exact opposite. They're right below the equator. So in December, it's warm there. It's cold here, but warm there. So I will be emailing everyone who signed up for this webinar, and you will get the replay, and then please share it with people. Let's see. Oh yeah, and I do have a giveaway. So for those who attended this giveaway, who attended this webinar, I'm giving away a pair of noise canceling headphones by the Passport Hustle. That's an African American female owned business out of the Bronx, New York. And she's also a travel professional. And during COVID, she decided to launch a business to offset what was going on. So it's these headsets, technique, noise isolating, and dynamic bass. We're not fishing here. So I have a randomizer. I have everyone's name. And hold on just for a second. I've got Michelle. I've got, oh, Yolanda. Let me add Yolanda to the list. Got Yolanda. I've got Caitlin. I've got Michelle. I've got, let's see if I've got everyone here on this list. Nicole. Paulette. Yes. And Irvin. And I have a randomizer, and I will be hitting, it's like a mini, it's an electronic mini wheel to randomize. So let's see who's gonna win. I'll share the results later. And Tony, Tony's not here. So let me remove Tony. I missed her, so do it again. Paulette. Paulette is the winner of the headphones by the Passport Hustle. Thank you all for joining. Please stay tuned. Just follow me on Facebook and Instagram. You have my email address. For those of you who are interested in taking a trip to Kenya, please reach out. I will be sending out a survey so I can get an idea of the types of activities that most people would like to see and do on a trip to Kenya. So this is Priscilla with Cilla Travel signing off, hoping that you have a great rest of your evening. Do you know what I'm going to say next? Oh, yeah. One more thing. Remember, live the dream. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining. Have a great evening.